everybody. My name is Coach Rick. I'm in here, beautiful Encinitas, California, with my nice coffee Panikin coffee house, the Joey. I've got my guest here, Doc Mac Parker. Today in our T3 Talks, you guys, I am super excited because, you know, a lot of you, when I talk about physical fitness and I talk about care, I talk about the 80-20 rule. The 80-20 rule, what most people don't really realize or understand is that people, and this is what people think, Doc, 80% of my workout's supposed to be hard. No, I'm going to go hard. I'm going to go crazy. I'm going to do it. And 20%, all right, supposed to be restorative. But, you know, you and I have discussed a few things and talked a little bit about that, and we kind of switched that around a little bit, you know, but with the 80% being recovery and 20% being intense, it allows people to heal better, to sleep better. Now, you guys, I don't do a really great job, you know, of introducing even myself, you know, Anthony is this. So Doc Parker here, I'm going to ask him to tell him a little bit about himself, what he does here at the T3 Talks. And as you guys know, when I have a gentleman like this in my office, he keeps Humpty Dumpty up and running, all right? So Doc Parker, tell me a little bit about what you do and how you've been doing it.
Yeah, well, first off, thanks for having me, Rick. So,
thanks,
again, Dr. Matt Parker here, and what I do is I am a physical therapist by trade, but I help people specifically 40 plus.
This guy runner.
Live a more active and mobile lifestyle without painkillers, without injections, without surgeries. I do everything kind of by hand, so very one-on-one experience. Been doing this for a while now. Absolutely love what I do, so I love being able to work with Rick here very closely. So he does get bumps and bruises, so I'm able to kind of get him going down the right path again. So people kind of ask me all the time, so you do back pain, you do knee pain, and yes, I do those things, but I tell you it's a side effect of what I do.
It is, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. So what I'd say is that that's kind of a side effect. The main thing what I do is I want you to live the most active and independent lifestyle you can. So people get bogged down by injuries all the time. So I want to give you the confidence to be able to do the things that you want to do, whether that's surfing, whether that's 18 holes on the golf course, whether that's a class with Rick. You know, I want you to be able to feel confident back in your own body and feel like maybe you did in your earlier days. So that's what I.
Earlier days. Oh, is that? I got the young Doc calling me a little bit. No, I'm just kidding. No, here's the nice part. All right, you guys, and thank you, Doc, for saying that. And you know, he does a much better job of introducing, you know, everybody than I do. I barely know where he lives. No, just kidding. No, the nice thing, you guys, about that 80-20 rule and about that post-care is the encouragement of moving better. One nice thing that I like about objective data, that's something you can prove that doctors and nurses really love because it's something substantial. It's tangible. Objective, you could feel it, see it, hear it, touch it, there it is. Subjective, feeling better, is the only subjective data that I love to use. And Doc and I mirror that in our actual core values of just moving better and feeling better. You know, even our pledge, our motivation will inspire you to be better. That's really why we work hand in hand. The nice thing about physical therapy and how it relates to me is, like Doc says, he's putting me together piece by piece. But as an elite athlete, I wasn't always that same due diligence and do that same due diligence. As a Marine, I was taught to play hard, drink harder, and play even harder, all right? And that pain is weakness leaving the body. You heard this, right? A lot of these analogies, right? Why go to, you know, but they're wrong. They're all wrong because what it does is it forces that body to start to break down. So what Doc has shown me, just like the other day I was sitting here, and this is how quick and beautiful that it is. He had about 15 minutes in between a patient was coming in, and I said, Doc, there's something in my hornet's nest that's going on, all right? And a hornet's nest, you know what I talk about, is your mind just starts racing. You just keep going over and over again of it. The best thing to do is what we talked about, pattern interruption, right? Go, and then breathe. And then allow me to think and say, hey, let me ask my resource here about this. So I said, hey, Doc, I think, or I don't know, but I'm having some pain here in my shoulder. Just want to make sure I didn't tear anything in this. Compassion and why he's different. Closes his laptop, says, Rick, not a problem. Does an assessment for me, which was really great. And what he says is, and it's put peace to my mind and stopped the hornet's nest. Goes, dude, you didn't tear. It's just an impingement. I'll work on you tomorrow. That's incredible, you guys. Thank you. Now, can you tell me a little bit of story? I know I'm always going to break down, but something similar to that.
So what I say is that too often we have fitness and rehab in two separate circles here. And what Rick and I have been able to do is kind of combine these circles here a little bit. So a story I have is he has a lady who he has as one of his clients, one of his athletes. So she was having ongoing shoulder issues for a long period of time. And, you know, she was able to come to me and able to get the work she needs on her shoulder without missing any time. Didn't miss any time with Rick at all. We're able to work around it. Rick and I talk about, hey, listen, like try this, don't do that with this person. And what I always do at the end is whatever your goal is, she wanted to play tennis. She couldn't overhand serve. Shoulder was killing her. Had tried all kinds of practitioners, and I'm not a guru by any means. I just do everything I can to like get the shoulder moving. And at her last 2 visits, especially her last one, we actually go out to the tennis court. I actually play a little bit of tennis with her. So
he went out to the tennis court. I'm sorry. I'm going to reemphasize that. I never known any physical therapist to do that, but keep going. Sorry.
Yeah, no, it's just that's what she wants to do, and that's what I want you to be able to do, right? So I have one right now. I have a gentleman who just wants to lift weights. That's all he wants to be able to do. His shoulder's not allowing him to do that. And, our last visit, we're going to go to 24-hour fitness together, and we're going to actually lift weights. So just to make sure that he feels comfortable and, again, feeling confident. It's not the shoulder pain. It's feeling confident to do the things that you want to do and the things that you love doing. He loves weightlifting, so we're going to weightlift. So.
And the nice thing, again, if you go to a coach and you go to a physical therapist, those are goals. We always talk about SMART, specific, measurable, achievable, realistic targets. So when you train SMART that way, the carrot is right there out in front of you, lifting weights, playing tennis. Now, I will tell you the backstory, all right? That patient that we share, am I right? Her joy on the tennis court, she came back in the next day with she was so lit up in a good way because she's like, oh my God, Rick, you won't believe it. Not only did I play tennis, but she played better. Because the combination of Doc and I, that she moved better. She now stopped using those spaces that we talk about and doing that. She started to rotate those hips. She had a little bit more power on the ball, and that was incredible. Now, Doc, that right there is what I talk, like a lot of physical therapists are out there. They're doing that stuff. They're doing that. But what I found, which was really kind of incredible, and this is how small the triangle of the medical community is. I have a good friend of mine, and he'll be on our on this. I met him at Clever Talks a few months ago. His name is Randy, and I just took from Eagle One CPR. He was a Navy corpsman who went Marine regs, and I had my basic life-saving certification had elapsed. So I called my buddy Randy. He fits me in and blah, blah, blah. Great class, everything. Him and I are connecting. I come back to the studio. I start talking to Doc. I'm like, hey, dude, I just got my CPR, the best class ever. Randy, he's a guy. He goes, you talking about the guy from Eagle One? I'm like, he goes, I took his course too, and it was great. It was awesome. And I was like, isn't that great? But what was interesting and why Randy was a little bit different and why his course was so exceptional is because he touched on the same thing Doc and I touch on that is a lost art, bedside manner. Doc's reason he's so effective to me is just like when I started in that introduction, his bedside manner, the ability to stop the hornet's nest, to calm me down is all I needed. So during basic life saving, Randy and I created a synergy to say, you know what, let's bring back that bedside manner. So Doc, can you give me just another example of how that, besides, I know he already gave 2, right? Because he already went to freaking 24-hour fitness and played tennis, but just something else that's kind of compassionate like.
Yeah, what I say is I build my business because I work for big corporate healthcare, and right now I think people are falling through the cracks, and I can only offer essentially watered down medicine and not the way I wanted to practice. And too often people, especially I speak physical therapy because that's what my background is, people were being seen by physical therapists. It's 10 minutes, it's off to an assistant or an aide doing exercise that you could do on a sheet at home. And I didn't like being in that situation, in that scenario. So I knew I could do more for people and I could offer more value and I could get people the results that they wanted to see. So that's kind of why I did create this business. And that's why everything I do is one-on-one. It's why your first visit with me is always free, because I need to make sure that I am the right person for you. Because there's some people, I wish I could help everyone. I can't, but sometimes, I want to make sure you can come in, you're the right fit. And then if you are the right fit, then I'll say, listen, this is what I can do for you. If you're not, then I'll say, listen, I'm sorry. I'll send you off to someone else. I'll recommend you, to this, that, or the other. But, I want to make sure that we're a good fit. And that's why I always see, your first session is always free with me.
And what's nice, and business models like that, meaning in a small business, I think the passion that you see that Doc and I have is because we enjoy treating the patients that come through the door. Now, here's something that I hate to say, but this is, and I'm going to throw this out there to Facebook Nation and in my podcast, okay? And I'm going to knock on the door for this. Please stop thinking that when someone offers something for free, that it has zero value. That thing bothers me. When I offer you my free session, he's $150 an hour. I'm $150 an hour. But what we're trying to do is allow for you to open up the door for trust. That's all we're doing. Someone told me, a big marketing guy goes, you can't offer anything free because then there's no value. Wrong answer. I believe in the humanity of me. Give more, do good things, and good things happen. So when I say, and someone goes, well, why is it free? You must suck. That is a true story. I've heard that. But I'm going to tell you something right now. That's not my client anyways, Doc. That's a client that walks in that we're going to hate treating. Have them go to the big box. Have them go to the If you're serious about moving better and feeling better, then that's where a free consultation works, because we have to get to know each other, because we're going to see a lot of each other. I mirror that same thing. I met an athlete the other day. I didn't sign him. He wanted to give me more money. And I said, not going to do it. Why is it? Because you know what? He had the wrong attitude. He wanted to compete with me. He's like, oh yeah, dude, I want to be like you. I want to be like you. I want to be like you. And I'm going to tell you something really cool. I don't need any more mini me's. All right. I want a best version of you. So as we're doing this, that best version of you, that's what I'm looking for. So as I'm sitting here, I've got one of my athletes that walked in. He's in that podcast. His name is David. He likes to be behind the scenes there, so I'm not going to bring him on my podcast. No, he's not there. But so it's nice. But if he sneaks around over here, he could see. So Doc, what's nice is we're talking about free consults. Thank you, David. We talk about free consults. We talk about that. Now, when you and I are training athletes, we talk to them about treatment. We talk to them about post-care. We talk to them about, how to manage, their bodies a little bit better. Now, if someone is sitting at their desk and their ergonomics are wrong, what is a little quick tip? Because you have these beautiful books here that I love that you guys have. I'm sorry, you guys, I have them right here. Doc has written a bunch of books that he can, which I love because I read through them. I actually learn a lot from them. And one of them is that I like is that a lot of them have, it's back pain and stiffness, 8 simple ways to end it. Now, you guys, we'll create some links here or stuff like that so you can get your hands on some of these things here. But Doc, tell me, give them a little preview there of what the 8 simple ways that back pain and stiffness is relieved without painkillers.
Well, I'll tell you what, I'll backtrack here a little bit because you mentioned something interesting, the ergonomics and sitting at a desk.
Yes.
So we predominantly sit at our desk quite a bit. So there's this myth out there that there's a perfect posture and that if I sit in this perfect upright shoulder just like this for 8 hours a day, I'm not going to have back pain. I'm not going to feel stiff. And what I tell you is that it's not true. So if I sat here like this for 8 hours, I'm still going to be stiff, right? So like what I tell you is, and what I tell people, especially if they have back pain, is yes, you do want lumbar support, but more than anything else, you need to move. Your body craves movement. So every 30, 45 minutes, even if you just stand up, move around a little bit and sit directly back down, it's going to go a lot further than you sitting in this perfect position. So everyone's, Matt, I need a standing desk, or I need this. Like, yeah, the standing desk is great. Stand at your desk for a little bit, then sit for a little bit, then stand a little bit, then sit for a little bit. I'd rather you do that than do all standing for 8 hours or all sitting for 8 hours. Like, mix it up. That's the key with, beating stiffness and feeling better.
It sounds like me, you guys. Those when you're ADHD, hyper, and bipolar, you have 2 speeds. Either I stand all day or I sit all day. I'm trying to find that even middle. And what's nice is you got to find that even middle. Like, I have a stand-up desk right here. I have a stability ball chair that I've paid that I have here that I sit. But it's, again, I use a little bit of like a token, something that reminds me. And I actually attach my keys here to my belt. So right here, my keys wiggle around. So like what I'll do is and I'm an older doc, so this may not work as much. When people were introduced, they're like, and now we have the keynote speaker. So a keynote to me is somewhat of importance. So when I look at keys, I say keys to my better posture is to move a little bit. Sit up, so if I, or what I like to use is Google. Google is our friend, and I hope she doesn't go on. All right, set a reminder on your phone just like you would important. That's how important I want your body to be to you. So if you're sitting there on your computer, I have a reminder that pops up on my phone that says eat, sleep, and actually move. So it pops up, and it's an appointment with myself, and it's a quick appointment of 5 minutes. And there, those of you who are attorneys, CEOs, alpha males like me who literally walk in the room, I don't need anyone to tell me what to do, but I love when I get a reminder. And that reminder is what helps me to be a little bit better. So now that's a really awesome tip, Doc. And again, I just, I am building on that all the time. Now, here's how I like to talk about, the last thing that we'll talk about here is how all of this could change into a lifestyle. All right. Now, a big part of what I talk to everybody about is budgeting, all right? So a big part of reducing stress is how do I look at my monthly budget? We're in January, so we're talking about that. Guess what's coming up? We're going to start to get our W-2s, right? So come in April when we do our taxes, we're going to get a big lump of money. Medicare right now and some of the other benefits just had all of their money come back in for the new year, and people that have these flex accounts, they actually have a brand new year full of flex accounts. Well, in some of the changes what have been out there, you can use some of these flex accounts for physical therapy, chiropractic medicine, acupuncture, this. Here's what I will tell you. It's a corporate nightmare, all right? It is a corporate nightmare. But what's nice is if you do it proactively, meaning if you sit down and I look at my calendar like this, and if I'm going to work out, and I work out 7 days a week, but let's think a normal person, okay? Normal person works out, let's say 3 days a week. Then on the 15th of each month, I do one treatment. I see Doc Parker on the 15th of each month. I do a treatment with Doc Parker. So that's a steady. Now, those treatments in the beginning are a little longer because you know what? Humpty Dumpty or that Tin Man needs a little oil. But then it just becomes a quick refresher. So let's say you do it in January. The session takes 30 to 45 minutes, and you feel a little bit better. Then you see Doc for a week or two, and you start to work that out. Then, as a refresher, every 15th of the month, you're going to come on in and see Doc. It may be a talk. You may like, how you doing? He may go look at your car, because what he does is as we peel the onion, we'll see that ergonomics from work. He may see that ergonomics from when you're at playing in your sports. That allows for us to get deeper and understanding our community a little bit more. I have memberships with my athletes, and it's so beautiful because they're in no rush. Because as a membership, you're a member of a community that's going to continue to grow. What does that do for us as practitioners? We have to stay educated and on the cutting edge. Because if it gets boring, we'll be Kaiser. Oh, I said that name. I wasn't supposed to. But no, but that's what, I'll be honest with you. You get stagnant. You get stale because but when you're on a membership, people grow. And as they're growing and they get better, they want more. And as practitioners, we stay educated. We continue to stay on the cutting edge. And the bottom line is they move better, they feel better. That's what I love. Now, as we've created that budget, Doc, and we've worked from that, how do you feel that people, what are some of the things that they may, because it is how they're going to feel better, what are they going to feel? They're going to move better, they're going to have more energy. What do you think if they really take this on more as a lifestyle, not as like a woo, 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 like I need a quick fix? What are the additional advantages they're going to feel?
That's a great question because I think it's going to be a little bit different for everyone. So
awesome. Exactly.
It always comes back to, my question is always, what do you want? What are your goals? What are your, right? So the gentleman who wants to weightlift is going to be different from the girl who wants to play tennis a little bit better or be able to, I have some people that just want to be able to pick up their grandkids. So, without being worried of having back pains or, being able to just change their shirt, without shoulder pain and, being able to walk on the beach without having knee pain. So everyone's going to feel a little bit different. So I love the model that Rick talks about here. So just getting the monthly checkup, it's almost like it's wellness. It truly is wellness. So when you're able to just get, you don't want these long-term issues. A lot of people tell me, I have arthritis and this, that, and the other. And it's like, if I could see you earlier on, you could beat a lot of these things by improving your flexibility, improving your strength, and knowing what exactly to work on and having, again, the confidence to do the things that you want to be able to do.
And that's the synergy that we have here, you guys. So I'm going to close this out with this one final story. And this story, it's a little bit different because I know it's Thursday and we're not throwing back to the Marine Corps. I actually did that the other day for my buddy Derek Joseph. But I like to use more of an analogy, all right, to kind of wrap everything up that we're trying to do here, okay? Now, there's a misnomer out there, all right, and it was out there for a bunch of years that you had to change your oil every 3,000 miles. You remember that? I mean, it was huge. It was the most urban legend out there. Oh, you got to do it. And my wife would literally be 2009, you got to run, that car's going to blow up. But what that was outstanding marketing, because what Jiffy Lube, Oil Express, and everybody did is they took something that people really thought was really maintenance, and they created some urgency to it. So had to do that, every 3,000. Now, here's what I say, all right? Most people will take care of their car better than they take care of their body. Because no 3,000 miles tune-ups are there. We're going to rewind it. Now we did, right? Because now on the 15th of each month, Now, just like that oil change on your car to keep that body running well, see how that word well comes back? Wellness, keeping that car working well. Now that person that drives that car is feeling equally as well as the car does because we're doing preventive maintenance. Now, here's something I will tell you guys, preventive maintenance works. The reason why Western medicine says it doesn't is because they can't make any money on it. But you can make money on it. And I don't mean money. What I mean is I'm paid with people feeling better. I'm paid with people moving better. And my revenue that I receive is you doing your goals. That's it. That's mine and his hook. Yes, we care. We want to see that. If you walk in and you say, I feel great, we're paid. Of course, you will run your credit card and we will take a little finances there. But again, that's the ultimate goal. When you run a wellness center, it's about love and kindness. It's not about bottom line, all right? You guys know that I was in the mortgage business before. That's about money. I mean, 30 grand a month, I could care less. I was pushing numbers, dealing with Wall Street. People are not dollar signs. Human beings, we bleed red. I protected this country as a Marine, put us on our back to allow for us to be better. So practitioners like him and Randy, individuals like that, if you're not training with me, then look at our credentials, look at how we train and find someone locally that mirrors what we do. But the nice part about Doc and I, we are remote. So a lot of what we can do virtually. We could talk you through. I've got training plans. I've got things. So what is kind of nice and why I enjoy the internet when I use it in 1991 in the Marine Corps, all right, is that it allows for us to reach others that we would never, ever be able to reach just with our education and our words. So it really states our motivation will inspire you to be better. Doc, thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you for having me.
Everybody, his information is in the description. I am getting better with that. He has his link on there to his website. And today I do not have my executive producer. So me and Doc are going to George Costanza. We're done, Doc. Let's go.